If salaries were designed to make people wealthy, most millionaires would be employees. They're not. And that's not because workers are lazy, or because people don't grind hard enough, or because they lack ambition. It's because a salary was never engineered to create wealth. It was engineered as a survival mechanism for the industrial age. Think back to the Industrial Revolution. Before factories, most people were farmers or artisans. Their income was volatile. If the crop failed, they starved. Factories needed something specific, predictable labor. They needed bodies at machines for set hours. To get that, they offered a trade. You give us your time and your unpredictability, and we will give you a floor, a guaranteed paycheck. This deal was a miracle for survival. It pulled millions out of extreme poverty. But over a century later, we are still using that same 19th century blueprint for a 21st century economy. Most of us inherit the same path. Study hard, get the degree, land the job, and climb the ladder. Every promotion or raise feels like progress, but it's often an illusion. As your title improves, your responsibility, stress, and expectations all increase, but your actual freedom does not. You are running on a treadmill. Your legs are moving, your heart rate is up, and you're exhausted. Yet your location on the map remains exactly the same. This isn't a character flaw. It is a structural reality of how the game is designed. A salary rewards consistency, but wealth rewards ownership. Those are two fundamentally different games played on the same field. Now, let's look at the bigger system. Since the 1970s, worker productivity has surged. Technology has multiplied output. Computers replaced manual filing. Automation replaced repetitive assembly. And now artificial intelligence is accelerating tasks that used to take weeks into seconds. We are the most efficient workforce in human history. Yet, look at the wage line. While productivity climbed like a mountain, wages walked up a small, flat hill. This is the Great Decoupling. The value you produce for your company has increased exponentially, but your compensation has stayed anchored to the cost of living. Where did that extra value go? It didn't disappear. It was redirected toward ownership. When a new software tool makes you 10 times faster, you don't get paid 10 times more. You just get 10 times more work assigned to you. The owner of the machine captures the profit. The operator gets the same hourly rate. A salary is a cost control system for a business. It ensures that the company's biggest expense, people, is predictable, while they keep the upside of every innovation. Next, look at the invisible wealth killer, the tax code. As an employee, you are the most heavily taxed entity in the economy. Why? Because you are taxed at the source. The government takes their cut before you even see the money in your bank account. You receive net income, the leftovers. Now compare that with ownership. A business earns revenue, subtracts its expenses, like the computers, the office, the marketing, and the travel, and then pays taxes only on what is left. As an employee, you are taxed on what you earn. As an owner, you are taxed on what you keep. Imagine two people. Person A earns $100,000 as a salary. Person B earns $100,000 through a business structure. Person A pays taxes on the full $100,000 immediately. Person B uses $40,000 of that money to buy equipment, travel for clients, and grow the brand. Person B only pays tax on the remaining $60,000. Over 30 years, that structural difference creates a massive divide in wealth. One person is trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom, while the other is using the water to build a plumbing system. Then there is the silent killer, inflation. Even moderate inflation quietly erodes your purchasing power. If you get a 4% raise but the cost of your groceries, rent, and insurance goes up by 6%, you didn't get a raise. You took a 2% pay cut in disguise. Inflation rewards those who own assets because the price of property, stocks, and businesses adjusts upward with the cost of living. But fixed salaries adjust slowly and painfully. Think of it like a race on an escalator. Asset owners are standing on an escalator going up. Even if they stand still, their value rises. Employees are on an escalator going down. They have to sprint just to stay in the same place. This is why a $5,000 raise feels like a victory in the moment. But 6 months later, your lifestyle hasn't changed. Your bank account hasn't grown. You aren't failing at budgeting. You are navigating a moving system that is devaluing the currency you work so hard to earn. Effort matters, but positioning compounds. To understand the solution, we have to look at the concept of leverage. Imagine two farmers who need to move water from a river to their fields. Farmer A carries 2 buckets. He works 12 hours a day, back and forth. He is the hardest worker in the village. If he wants more water, he has to run faster or work longer. His output is capped by his physical body. This is a salary. Farmer B carries 1 bucket for half the day, but spends the other half digging a small trench from the river to his field. At first, he has less water than Farmer A. People mock him for being slow. But after a year, the trench is finished. The water flows automatically. Farmer B can sleep, and the field still gets watered. He has built an engine. This is ownership. The salary system keeps you as the bucket carrier. It feels safe because you have water today. But the moment you stop walking, the water stops flowing. Ownership is the trench. It takes time to build. It's difficult at first. And it requires you to sacrifice some bucket time now for flow time later. Why don't more people build trenches? It's because of the golden handcuffs. As your salary grows, your lifestyle expands to meet it. You get a bigger house, a nicer car, and more subscriptions. Suddenly, you cannot afford to stop walking with the buckets. You are locked into the system not by your boss, but by your own monthly expenses. To break free, you must realize that there is a difference between an asset and a liability. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket while you sleep, the trench. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket, the bucket. Most employees spend their lives collecting liabilities, thinking they are assets. A salary allows you to afford more liabilities, but ownership allows you to acquire more assets. So what is the move? It isn't quitting your job tomorrow or taking reckless risks. It is changing your relationship with your paycheck. Think of your salary as fuel. Your job generates the cash flow, but your ownership, your stocks, your real estate, your side business, or your skills is the engine. If you use every raise to buy a nicer car or a bigger house, you are just adding weight to the treadmill. You are making it harder to ever stop running. The blueprint is simple, but requires discipline. Stop lifestyle creep. When you get a raise, don't change your life. Change your investments. Buy back your time. Use your 9-to-5 income to fund your 5-to-9 ownership. Move from mechanic to owner. A mechanic is paid to fix the machine. An owner is paid because they own the machine. The goal is optionality. This is the first true form of freedom. The ability to say no, because you no longer rely on a single source of income. You stop blaming yourself for a lack of progress and start adjusting the structure of your life. A salary keeps you functioning inside the system. Ownership allows you to participate in its expansion. The question isn't how to work harder, it's how to own smarter. Once you understand the mechanics of money, you stop sprinting on the treadmill and you start building elevation. If you want to understand how these systems truly function, not emotionally, but structurally, subscribe. Let's fix your mechanics.